Sobiya, how are you today?
I am very well, KK. Thank you so much for inviting me on the show.
Can you tell us about how you got into kickboxing and how you got to such a high level?
My journey of kickboxing was one that was incredible. It's taught me a lot and informed who I am today. So I was wearing the hijab at the age of 16. I chose to wear it. Nobody in my family wore it. None of my friends wore it. And I also chose to start kickboxing. My father did judo and an opportunity arose. And so both me and my sister started training. So he saw the value of martial arts in terms of discipline, confidence, all the other aspects of what emerges from a martial art, not just being able to defend yourself. And so he was very much our supporter. And I was in the club, and my instructor embraced me for who I was, not
Right.
my face, not what I looked like, not the color of my skin or the hijab that I wore, but for me. And she nurtured that talent in me. And really, KK, when I look back at it, I realized that having that belief by somebody else in who you are enables you to reach heights that you never thought you would reach. And I truly believe
Right.
she created that space for me.
So she saw something in you and that inspired you to keep going for it. Because 10 years is a long time, from 16 to 26 years old,
Yes.
that young girl becoming a woman. What was your father's reaction to you kind of carrying this on? I mean, what was he feeling about this?
My family was very supportive. They always have been about kickboxing and my martial art. But parents are parents. They always want you to have a secure, steady future. The education was so important.
Right.
So as long as I was showing up as making sure I was doing my studies and still pursuing that as well as my kickboxing, it was great. It was fine. They were supportive. The narrative changed slightly when I set my eyes on doing the national competition, because
Right.
there's one thing actually just training as a kickboxer and getting a black belt. And
Yes.
then there's another level where you go to the competitive level where you now have to leave your club, you're fighting with other people. The family thought, okay, it's just a fad. They're just experimenting. They're just going along to a competition. And we returned with 3 trophies between the two of us.
And that's
And
your
we
sister.
That's right. We both qualified then to go to Europe. And my sister was an adolescent, and so we needed a guardian. And so that's where the family realized, okay, these girls are up to something big. And then I had the support of my father and my grandfather. So it's really interesting because I wouldn't really be where I am without the support of my family.
You got the European championship. You come home with a silver medal, which is fantastic, representing England. Now you have an opportunity to go to the world and compete that way. And you were at a crossroads.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a man who said something. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I was in my 20s at that stage and early 20s, and I was studying for my postgraduate to become a qualified teacher while simultaneously also competing and training. And so I got to a crossroad because I would have required time away from my course to go and fight in the World Championship in Florida. And I made a choice at that time, KK, that being in a profession was more important to me than going and competing at the World Championship. And that was a conversation and dialogue I went through, and a choice that I made at that time.
Yeah.
People around me supported me, but it's a choice that I sometimes reflect on.
Yeah. But you did tell me you got some pushback from a female family member.
It wasn't a family member, it was a friend, a very close friend.
Oh, okay.
See,
Right.
yeah. And so this is really interesting because whenever, and this is something I observed with myself, when you're leveling up and you're going and you're leaving the safety and the norm of what society or friends or family expect of you,
Yes.
it rocks the boat with some people and they feel obliged to share their opinion. And so I was at a crossroad before that, before even going to the European Championship. A very close friend of mine called me and said, I believe what you're doing is wrong. You shouldn't be fighting in the European Championship. Actually, you shouldn't be doing kickboxing anyway. I don't think it's right.
Because you're
And
a woman.
this is an opinion, right? So I've got the support of my family, I've got the support of my coach, yet a significant friend voices her opinion, and it swayed me because we were very close friends.
Are you
And
close
then
friends now?
no, not at all, no.
Right. Was
And
that the breaking point?
it was because it made me realize that actually we're on two different paths, and what is right for you isn't right for me. And so, and then and there's a natural force that plays into it, plays a role, and naturally people then end up taking different paths, and that's just how it happens.
And then you chose not to go to the world. That was an influence. That voice
Yeah.
was an influence, right? Do you have regrets?
I do have regrets, and just going back to what you said about the friend who voiced her views, I then had somebody also supporting my corner, and she is now one of the first female judges in the UK, and and so this is the key, right? When you're on your path to success, it's really important to surround yourself with like-minded people,
That,
what I call your high vibe tribe.
your high
And
vibe tribe. I
yes,
like that.
yes,
I think this is important because we're still dealing with things like the gender pay gap. We're still dealing with these gender issues. And sometimes, like I said, a lot of times people are thinking, oh, it's that male intervention that stops you from rising where you should be, you want to be. But sometimes it can be even your own, what you think is your tribe, your people, your that other female, discouraging you. But I think there's, like you said, there's the lesson here. There's the, and I think it must influence your coaching.
absolutely, absolutely. It's so important as individuals for us to listen to our voice, because when you listen to your own voice, no matter what choices you take, they resonate and they align with who you are. And
Right.
so when I reflect back, when my friend was discouraging me, I knew the voice within me was stronger than what she said to me.
Right.
And then there's somebody who's lifting you up. And so I think it's so important to have that community, to have those, you talk about women and the gender pay gap. It's about lifting people up.
That's
And it's so important having those people, that community of people around you.
absolutely.
And when I look back, my instructor, my coach lifted me up at a time when 9/11 happened. So this is a context,
Right.
right? And I chose to wear my hijab. I chose to kickbox.
Ooh, that
I
was,
had a woman, an English woman who lifted me up.
that's an
And this
incredible.
is powerful.
I wish we had more than 10 minutes to talk. Let's close. Before we close out, I want you to, speak, if you could, to other Muslim women who are particularly in the corporate space that may be feeling like they can't be their authentic selves. Can you just speak to that for just a brief moment?
I always say to people, your uniqueness is your superpower. Who you are, your strengths, your skills, your background, your ethnicity, whether you wear a hijab or not, whether you have brown skin or black skin, or whether you're from one side of the globe or the other, who you are as a person is your superpower. Your
Yeah.
uniqueness is your superpower. And the
Yeah.
moment you embrace that and you realize that, the right people will come to lift you up. They
Thank
will
you.
raise you, and
Thank you. I'm
I think
excited.
that's powerful.
That's powerful what you said. And I just want to thank you for being here today. You've spoken from your heart. You shared something. You've shared the wins, the loss, the regret. I really appreciate it. I can't wait. We're talking about doing something on Clubhouse very soon. Can't wait to put these things into action. Thank you so much for being here. Anyways, you've been watching WorkTales with KK Harris, and my guest has been the lovely Sobiya Jawaid. Thank you so much. Bye-bye for
Thank
now.
you.